Yo, what up? It's your boy Diesel Tyme, and welcome back to Dummy Takes. And today we are talking about the Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. Oh boy, oh boy. And I really enjoyed this movie. I did. I thought it was a quality R-rated action, sci-fi, adventure, superhero, outrageous comedy film. I mean, it is all of the above. Check off every box. I mean, man, it's even horrific at times. And I love that they kick off with what me and my friends actually did. See, we had a few beers in the fridge. We had a episode of Harley Quinn to set the mood, the animated series. We rolled up a couple California cigarettes. And this movie kicks off with them betting who do you think is going to die in the mission. Meanwhile, me and my friends are going back and forth. Yo, how many people do you think are going to make it? Now, the movie kicks off with just Squad A. And we notice, hey, there's some missing characters, some keynote ones. Idris Elba, John Cena, Harley Quinn. No, she shows up. But, some King Shark. We noticed right off the bat that these guys are missing. So we figured out there's a Squad B. So I bet that 2 characters from Squad A and 3 characters from Squad B live until the end of the movie. So that's 5 altogether. Add them all up. My friend, I don't remember what he bet. But fast forward to the end, when Weasel comes back to life, that completed my set for the hat trick. Bam! 5 all together teammates, 2 from Squad A, 3 from Squad B. And then, goddamn, in the end credit scene, they had John Cena come back. Messed my whole thing up. But other than that, it actually made it was a more enjoyable way to watch the film, having, we didn't put any money on the table, but bragging rights. I was literally typing out the tweet about how I won the bet, and then they showed John Cena come back to life, and I had to delete the tweet. So, yeah, let's get into it. I loved that James Gunn had the freedom to pretty much do whatever he wanted with these characters. They're a bunch of C and D list, no-name characters. To be honest, I ain't even heard of Bloodsport, Idris Elba's character, Bloodsport. I don't even remember these things. He's such an unknown character that James Gunn could, kill them, not kill them. It doesn't matter. And DC has this approach of, is there canon? Is there not canon? We'll figure it out later. Next movie, we'll decide what we want to keep and what we want to throw out. But also, DC has this ability to say, maybe we'll do it R-rated, maybe we'll do it PG-13. We'll figure it out when we're ready to make that decision. And they've been putting out all kinds of made for adult, but true to the previous storytelling, like R-rated adult DC content. You got the Harley Quinn animated series that we opened up with all kinds of sex jokes, blood and guts, F-bombs, the language is crazy. And yet, it's not going against what any previous storytellers have established. Batman is still Batman. He's still the world's greatest detective. Clayface is still a Clayman. But they take this, thing about Clayface where he used to be an actor, and they just dial it up to 10. Now he's an actor. It's the same, but it's new. And James Gunn is doing a little bit of that. He takes a guy like, King Shark, who, if you've seen the DC animated stuff, he's just kind of stupid. He's King Shark. And this, he dialed it all the way down, and he's like, hand. So, again, it's not going against previous storytelling, but it is adapting it to do something original and putting that James Gunn thumbprint on it that we all love. It's kind of, we were hoping that he would do with the Guardians of the Galaxy characters the same treatment to the Suicide Squad, because Who'd ever heard of Rocket Raccoon and Groot? You know, it's totally out of left field. Just like Polka Dot Man, just like King Shark, you know, who we just talking about. One of my favorite characters. King Shark is a shark. If you don't know that reference, do your homework and watch Justice League Dark Apocalypse War for no other reason, for King Shark is a shark. If you don't know the reference, I can't help you. So yeah, I thought it was a really well-crafted movie. In addition, you know, obviously James Gunn, he's an A-list director, so the cinematography was on point, the acting was on point, the special effects were looking great. I wasn't too keen on the Harley Quinn, like, butterflies and bees and flowers, like, you know, flying all around. Like, take, for example, Polka Dot Man. It is established that his powers include rainbow dots flying out of him, and they can kill people and blow things up. So to have something on screen that is not actually part of the storytelling, it's just visual noise. That was like one of the things that bothered me was, you know, the flowers coming out Harley Quinn, because they're not real flowers. So why are you showing them to me other than to make it look pretty? Like, I understand, like, you have frames like King Shark ripping apart the guard where the lightning strikes. That looks very pretty, but it's established that King Shark has the ability to rip a man in half, where Harley Quinn has no ability to make flowers come out of her butthole. So, you know, nitpick. But other than that, you know, it's good storytelling. You know, the special effects, despite me not liking that one scene, it still all looked really well. The stunt choreography, everything looked really good. So I really liked the movie as a product, but my enjoyment is inevitably decreased by the one thing that I said also made this movie so great, which was the freedom to do whatever James Gunn wants to do. And DC does not have the same strict canon that Kevin Feige has over at Marvel and Disney. So their list of things that you cannot do is going to be really long. And the things that DC is not going to let you do is going to be really short. You know, hey, Mr. Gunn, we'd really love for you to come over and do whatever you want to do. Please, Mr. Gunn, here's a truck full of money. Please, Mr. Gunn, make a Suicide Squad movie. We'll let you do whatever you want. And as a viewer, I think you are probably in the same seat where you're a little more keen on how movies are done, how the casting, and, you know, the is this canon, is it not? Like, we know these things. There's YouTube channels, there's variety articles, the information is out there, but the information also has to be on the screen if we're going to follow along, for gosh sakes. When you go in to watch a Marvel movie, you know that the storytelling is going to be based on the last 25 movies, and that the next 25 movies are going to take into consideration everything that's done in this movie. It's not going to be taken for granted. It's going to be treated as fact. It's going to be treated as canon. And DCEU doesn't really have canon. It has things that it brings back. Harley Quinn was in Birds of Prey. She said, oh yeah, you know, I had this boyfriend, Mr. J. We broke up. So that lets you know that this is the same Harley Quinn from the original Suicide Squad movie, but it kind of just brushes everything else off. It's like, yes, this is the same character, but this movie, it's going to go off and do its own thing with these other, like, B-list characters. She has, like, her own, you know, new Suicide Squad with her lovely ladies. Aquaman does a similar thing. Mira's talking about, like, well, you know, you should go and fight because you showed great honor when you fought Steppenwolf. But then, boom, like, no other mention of Justice League. It goes off, and he doesn't even have the same armor. He's rocking the orange now. So, on the one hand, I love the freedom that comes with, you know, building separate sandboxes. But at the end of the day, for me to come back and watch, you know, basically the third Harley Quinn movie, and also the second Suicide Squad movie, and also an unknown quantity as far as, like, what is to come next, the stakes are just lowered. It feels like insincere storytelling because I don't know how truth to the overall universe this movie really is. So as fun as it can be, as great as the action is, as great as all the characters are, you know, they killed Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, Jai Courtney, in the beach scene in the very beginning. But who's to say that 3 years from now, when they make a Suicide Squad Returns movie, that Jai Courtney won't be back as Captain Boomerang again? And I would just be like, well, yeah, whatever. You know, there's no rules. You know, anything goes in the DCEU. You can tell any story you want, and there's no consequences. You know, Marvel, you know, they do some fake death stuff. You know, they've brought back Loki 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But they always have, you know, he's from a magical realm. They have some, you know, mystical box or some spell. I don't know. They have storytelling devices that make it so. In DCEU, they just have no explanation. They just go off and do another thing and don't tell you why, how, where, when. And so as fans, we are a little more tuned in, and for me to enjoy the movie, I have to know that the storytelling is at least somewhat consistent and sticks to its own rules. And I don't know what the rules for DC movies are. You take a movie like Joker, that's clearly set in a different timeline. There is no Superman flying around shooting laser beams. That's clear. I'm not gonna pretend that Batfleck is going to show up. I'm not going to pretend that Aquaman is going to show up. That would be a little ridiculous for a movie like Joker. However, a movie like Suicide Squad, you got to pick a side. You know, it can't be right in the middle. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts. That's my dummy take. I don't know if it's a hot take. Usually I'm a little more spicy with it. But, you know, I thought I'd give a little insight onto what I thought a little political, you know, a little get into the nerd, you know, like, oh, well, on this movie and then on that movie. But, you know, I really think these things matter because at the end of the day, you are delivering a product, you are telling a story, and in order for me to enjoy and love the story, I gotta know what's going on. When I watch a Marvel movie, I know exactly what's going on. And as much as I was able to follow what was going on in this movie, you know, I don't have any questions about the plot or who lived or who died or anything like that. It's just the consequences when you have a greater universe like the DCEU, when they're unclear, everything's unclear. So yeah, I've been your boy Diesel Time. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit the bell, subscribe, do all that stuff. You know how the internet works. Let me know if you saw Suicide Squad on HBO Max or in the theater. What was your experience like? Did you see it with a bunch of friends, have a party like we did? Did you see it alone? In your house, in your basement? No, it's fine. There's no judgment around here. Just let me know. How'd you like it? You know, what was your experience like? Would you like to see another Suicide Squad movie in the future? Suicide Squad Returns with Captain Boomerang coming back. That'd be pretty cool, right? Let me know. I've been your boy, Time. Peace.